So obviously it's been decided. And I know there's probably some Trump fans and some real diehard MAGAs out there crip walking in the street, doing the Dougie, jerking it out just right there in the street. Pause. But I'm talking about the dance moves. But yeah, that's what they're probably out there doing, having a good old day. And I know people who voted for Kamala are quiet. I know that it is a sad day. It's already cloudy here in Nashville. I mean, boy, it is gloomy. It feels, especially being in Nashville. Nashville is a very, predominantly blue area. It feels gloomy. It feels off, eerie in this area because it's like just people are damaged internally by what they saw. But overall, obviously, Tennessee went straight Trump, which it's always going to go red. This state goes red. But I don't really care what anybody votes for. I really don't care if you vote Republican, Democrat, Independent, you vote for Kanye. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever your vote is your vote. I just think, if you can, go out there and vote for somebody or something. At least pay attention to your local election because that's what's the most important. That's what's valued the most. But I do feel like there was opportunities for the Democrats to win, but they just didn't take those opportunities. And you're going to hear about a lot of this if you pay any attention to politics. They just missed the boat on what people are actually caring about, what they talk about, what people are upset about happening to them out there. There's reasons why I have these videos of me in my car talking about, hey man, people are broke out here. There are people that are lacking in funding. Week to week is hard. Day to day is hard for some. There's plenty more people piling up by the bridge. That number of people is increasing at a very alarming rate. My homeboy that I see when I get off the interstate every day, he's looking worse and worse, and I can only give him so much. But it's not like I can officially sponsor the guy, and I ain't got time for that. But just saying there's some problems out there. When I say that people are having a hard time finding jobs, there's ghost jobs out there. They exist. Yeah, they can promote and say, oh, they've created all these jobs out here in the economy, but why can't anybody fill these jobs? Why are people still not able to get hired even though there's all these jobs available? You'll hear at your employer, we're hiring, but nobody's coming into work. What's going on? People are confused when they see these things take place out there in society. We're not dumb. We see these things take place in reality. What the price of stuff was whenever you used to go to the grocery store versus what it is now. Everybody remembers gas prices. You definitely remember them. And just go back and look at some old movies and you'll remember exactly what the good old days used to be. Back when you used to really be able to make good jokes and have real comedy and, enjoy shit. And there's a lot of people who are just tired of what the quote unquote woke agenda is. And I'm not one who wants to jump all over that because I feel like a lot of people do just complain about a lot of stuff, even though this stuff is not anywhere near as woke as they want to say or stuff like that. I feel like sometimes that's overblown. It's a lot of people out there just trying to play victim because they're upset that they aren't going to get everything their way anymore. But some things, they do need to change over time. But I also agree in the fact that some things have gone a tad bit too far. And I think we all know what that is. We've all seen modern movies and we've all played modern video games and we feel like there's a stretch where it's like, you know what? Maybe we're doing just a tad bit too much. I get what's going on. Maybe we should slow down a little, just a tad. Not saying that the world ain't ready. The world's just sick of it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying when it comes to some of the agenda pushing that's pretty obvious, especially out there in Pixar films. It's really obvious in Pixar films. And I love Pixar, but the agenda push, it's obvious. It reeks in some of these films. There aren't films that have these friend groups that you see in these movies. I've never seen a friend group actually consist of a transgender, a black, an Asian, a white girl, and I don't know, somebody who's non-binary. That you're lucky if you get all of that in one school sometimes, especially in some of these smaller places, these more rural areas. You're lucky if you get that there. But just to say that, hey, that's, the normal friendship group, that's cap. Nobody believes that. That is not believable. Now, yeah, I had a very diverse friend group growing up. We had me, a Laotian guy, white guy, well, 2 white guys and another black guy. We were kind of diverse. We did a little bit. We mixed 3 different races, but we couldn't get 6 different identities in there. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying. But the Democrats had a really good opportunity to really do something with this when it came all the way back to just hey man, Joe is slipping. He's obviously been slipping for quite some time, and not just off the bicycle. We're talking mentally. He's losing it a little bit. He's starting to space out in some of these meetings that he's having. A lot of times when we see him at these ventures, he looks like he's literally falling asleep. Sleepy Joe isn't just a joke. It's starting to become reality. I'm starting to see him pass out by 6 o'clock. This is a man who's who's supposed to be up all the way to like 10 o'clock every night. Are you sure he's prepared for that at his age and his mental well-being? He wasn't just slipping just like 6 months ago. He was slipping years ago. We saw this. And the fact that he was going to line up and go for another, term is crazy. And they knew that was crazy. Then they rolled him out there to go out there and just cook himself on that debate. It wasn't like Donald actually did anything in that first debate with Joe Biden. It was just the fact that Joe Biden looked so terrible. Everybody's like, we have to do something immediately. Mass panic right after that. And then it was just like, well, who do we get? Who are we going to have? Who are we going to elect? Well, let's get Kamala. She's the only one here, which I don't think she did a really great job in her campaign. All the pandering to all these people who are tied to Diddy was not a good look. And I'm telling you, it rubbed people the wrong way, regardless of people want to think about it. It did. It rubbed people the wrong way. You keep bringing up all these celebrities. It's like, hey man, we got some fried chicken and some watermelon for you. Hey, here, you want some? Did you like the chicken? We don't give a damn about that stuff. Please stop just, shoving that stuff in our face. We aren't dumb. Yeah, it's a nice little show. Most of these people showed up to see Beyonce because they thought they were going to get a free concert. Instead, they got a lecture about how they need to vote for Kamala. People don't want to hear about that. They want to hear about things, how they're going to change. Like, you're an extension of Joe Biden. You need to find a way to not sound just like Joe Biden, because people aren't vibing with Joe Biden like that. There are people who like Joe and there's people who love Joe, but the vast majority of people who were coming up on this election did not. Not a fan. Most of those people were upset and we won't change. And that just meant voting for whoever the other person was going to be. It was just going to be Trump. Then I hear stuff about Trump just only can seem to beat women. Well, that seems to be the only people that line up against him in the elections. He only ran 3 times. He had to face 2 women, and 2 women went down in defeat. And I get that is, that's the aesthetic. And yes, he lost to Joe Biden. And you know what? Hey, I think people just wanted to do something different from Trump because of all the rhetoric and all the tweeting and all the extra. It was a lot of extra at the end of Trump. And plus it was COVID. People were sick. People were just sick of him by the end of that term. And they're like, you know what? This man talks about putting bleach in us. Maybe not the best guy to have for president for the next 4 years. Well, 4 years done happened. We're still here. Sort of like, I thought the world was supposed to end when Donald Trump became president. Just like it was really supposed to end when Barack got elected. When Barack became president, it was definitely supposed to end. Then we were supposed to have the apocalypse in 2012. Neither happened. I remember people were crying in the street when Barack got elected. Thinking, oh my God, even though that he won in a landslide, I remember those folks. I remember because I live here in Tennessee. They definitely existed. They were upset, crying, ready to go ahead and sell away all their stuff, give away their children, because they just life wasn't worth living anymore because Barack just got elected. They were like, oh my God, this terrorist has become president. And now we're just going to die. I guess immediately the planet was, or the United States was just going to explode the next day because Barack was going to be elected president. I remember those times. People really did think it was the end of the world. Just like then, just like at the end of Trump's term, just like the end of Joe's term, we gonna be fine. So for the people who are panicking that, oh my God, Trump is president now, we gonna be all right, we gonna make it. All that stuff they're talking about in Project 2025, man, half of that stuff, it ain't gonna happen. That ain't happening. First of all, not enough time to accomplish all that. And once again, not all these people think the same. Most of these people don't want these radical changes. They do want some, but not some of the stuff that people are the most worried about when it comes to those agendas, the things that are supposed to be the reason why you weren't supposed to go out there and vote for the Republicans, or you're supposed to cape up for the Democrats regardless. And then, the thing is, blacks still came out for the Democrats. Same thing. Still voted for Democrats. Though the numbers did change a little bit. Yeah, obviously, because you know why? They put on a better campaign. I feel like the Democrats just took this for granted. Like, man, we'll be all right. We're running against Trump. Beat him once before, we'll beat him again. No. This was mass panic. Kamala only had 4.5 months to get ready for this election, which is the part I got to give her the leeway on, because that's not a lot of time to get yourself prepped up and ready for an election. It's just not. But to get out in some of these situations, and I get it, Trump never really said much in most of his conversations when it came about policy or any of that stuff. I didn't hear much. But then a lot of times I come to find out, especially in the last couple of months, is a lot of that footage was hidden. They didn't tell you all the different stuff. He didn't agree with Project 2025, and he said more about it than just a couple clips you might see. He actually was like, there are some crazy people out there. I'm telling you, there's some wild ones. And he didn't agree with those. He's like, they have some really extreme thoughts. And I know what he was talking about, because if you saw the crazy parts of that document, you would know they had some extreme thoughts. And he's like, some of that I ain't rocking with, which thank God. I hope not. Now, hopefully he doesn't have buses lined up for all the black people too whenever he gets ready to deport all the illegals. Hopefully he ain't lining us up and all right, it's either the slave trade or You know what time it is. I hope it doesn't come to that. I really don't think people will allow it to get to that point. Boy, that would be some shit. But yeah, I mean, Trump won in an absolute landslide. I mean, this was just ugly. I won a game once 72-0 in basketball when I was in middle school, and I swear this was worse. This was worse. This was really bad. And the fact that the Republicans are going to take just all the seats in the Senate, which I know there's going to cause some panic, and I understand it. I get it. But for anybody who wants to know what a Trump presidency is going to look like the next 4 years, you're going to get it, because they're going to have all the control. They're going to have it. So whatever you're hoping out there for USA, we're going to get it. And we'll see if any of it's for the good. Maybe it'll turn around for us. We'll see. I'm just not overly worried about it, because I know what's really going to happen. I'm still going to have to get up the next day regardless of who the president is, and I'm still going to have the same problems I had the day before. So what am I tripping about? I might as well just go ahead and live. No need to panic. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. If God has got you, God has got you. Just remember that. So don't just say these things. Believe them. Live them. Make things a lot easier for you. I'm telling you, politics is just one of those things you just don't need to discuss. So like, one of my homeboys, he was in a situation. I was like, boy, you should have just lied. You shouldn't have said who you voted for. You kind of, at this point in time, probably should have known what she stood on, in y'all's relationship. And if she was on the opposite side, you should have been on her side. Regardless if you were or not, you should have lied. Would have been a lot easier to just pass that by for a while. But you know what? That's bad. That's bad advice to give at a university. He did the right thing. He told the truth, and I think their relationship is going to be stronger because of it. Yes. Even though they're a house divided, just like one of those license plates that says Tennessee, Alabama, it's Trump, Kamala. You know what I'm saying? That's what their house is. But guess what? It's going to be okay. They're going to be able to get past it. I believe it. I do believe it. Because, Lori, we always talk about doom and gloom when it turns out to be these certain presidents, these life-changing presidents like Barack, and then you get Trump in office, and it's like, oh my God, it's going to be the end of times, man. People have been trying to predict stuff forever. I'm still waiting for Jesus to come back and resurrect, like everybody's been telling me for the last 30 years I've been alive. I swear, if another Jehovah's Witness knocks on my door and asks me, do I know Jesus Christ? I'm going to slap him across the face with a Bible. I'm going to actually put hands on one of those people and risk getting the charge. I'm sick of it. Stop telling me he's coming back. Y'all have been saying he's coming back since 98. Dang it. It's 2024 now. I'm willing to accept Jesus. Maybe he's not going to show up right here in the flesh like y'all keep saying. And if he does, it might not happen for a few hundred more years. Just saying, maybe there's going to be way more time than you saying it's going to happen next fall. I mean, come on now. Can y'all stop this mass panic? But y'all are the calmest people you'll possibly find. Not an ounce of heartbeat in you. No pulse, nothing. Soulless people. No, I'm not going to say that. They are nice and kind people. That was me. They're really nice and kind, and they believe what they believe. Not faltering for beliefs. I'm just saying, stop harassing me. Leave me alone. Gosh. But just saying, have faith in things. If have faith in whatever you want to. Believe what you want to believe. If you're atheist, then, well, good luck. I'm tough. I don't know what to say to you about that. But most of this stuff just makes me think of all we always want to predict. Sort of like people who say, exactly what time of the day is. I know this is completely random, but we have no idea what time it is. You look at that clock, it says 11 o'clock. We ain't got a clue. Now we have a system that, is put together for us, by us, to make that make sense to us. So I'm willing to accept that, but we really don't know what time of day it is. That original clock was made of stone. How do you think that really worked? Now, this might sound like I've gone crazy conspiracy theorist, but really, we've been saying all this stuff for millions of years. When people say the earth is so many years old, we have no idea. Who told you that? How do we really know how old the earth is? I'll give it to them on dinosaur bones, all that other stuff, fossils, whatever. But you ain't gonna tell me how old this planet is, how long it's been here. That means you know exactly when it all happened. The Big Bang. You must be a Big Bang theorist then. I guess that's what that means. Because other than that, it doesn't make any sense to me how people the earth is this many years old. Just shut up. Just shut up. You're lying. You're lying like Terrence Howard and his pseudo Negro science. Whatever, man. Not Negro, hood science, because that's what that is. Well, I'm black. I believe in real good stuff that came off wrong. But I'm just saying, people in there's stuff that people be capping about, and they be trying to just get you to believe that it's the end of the world, and it's not. But we will still have the same problems that we did the previous days. You know, if you had this problem, if you were low on money yesterday, you're going to be low on money today. Now, maybe things will change for you over the next 4 years. Hopefully so. But all I know is you still going to have to keep grinding for a while. Now, obviously on this channel, I talk about a lot of different things. I talk about everything from a little bit of sports all the way to a tad bit of politics, and my 600-pound life, to manosphere content bashing, fresh and fit and their dumb idiot fans. Because, well, they are people that are fun to make fun of. But really, they're just a bunch of young men. They're just a bunch of young men who are having issues out here in the world being lonely. And I understand that because even, at an older age, you can get lonely. You can get lonely at any time in your life. Everybody does. That's part of the things that lead to depression. That's why you got to have friends, peer groups, people that you can go out and you go do things with, because if not, you will lose your mind slowly. And then when you do it slowly, it's terrible. I'd rather just be fast and quick and I didn't even know it happened, rather than just slow deterioration into sadness and depression. It's awful. Don't go there. A lot of these guys just simply don't even have friends, and that's why they seek out information, and they look at people like Myron and Fresh as actually like role models. Christ almighty, do you not realize how big of a problem that is? Like, that platform had 1.7 million subscribers, maybe a little bit more at one point in time. Don't know. All I know is they've also carried over to other platforms, but unfortunately they keep getting themselves demonetized, so it's just they can't make no money off of these people anymore. But they've had a lot of fans. A lot of people follow them. A lot of people follow a lot of these other podcasts that do a lot of the same stuff, speak a lot of the same narrative. Is it good for their minds when it comes to dating? Absolutely not. But what do these people do the most? They get them to vote conservative, because that's what they believe in. Most of these men are like 21 to 18. They can all go vote. They're all eligible adults. Not all, but a good chunk of them are. Probably got them registered because that made them feel like a proud American, so they went out there and voted for Trump. Just saying, these are things and avenues that the Democrats didn't even think to take care of. Aiden Ross, humongous streamer. Humongous. I don't know how many millions, but he owns a lot of kick and he has a lot of people that follow him on his streams. Millions of people went to go probably vote for Trump. Just saying, these are lots of votes that you're leaving on the table, and they count just the same as everybody else's because they're an adult and they can vote. And their opinion still matters too. The crisis that they're having, and the people that speak to their issues, the ones that they're having, that's why they are listening to them. Some of them are actually seeking them out for advice, just losing and giving up hundreds and thousands of their dollars for no reason whatsoever because they're lost young men. But they're being, coached to, believe these things. So if you want them to be coached to believe your cause, you will go recruit them and have some people on some other platform speaking your narrative to their points, to their struggles. But guess what? Democrats didn't do that. I didn't hear anybody with like real, liberal thoughts really speak about the issues that men were having. Especially young men. And if they went out there and voted, you saw the numbers and who they voted for. It was Trump. Just saying, these are avenues that they could have explored that really could have helped their cause. Now, I know most of this stuff is just for me to troll and make fun of people out here on this channel because it's not meant to be overly serious, but that doesn't mean that the numbers aren't real. That the fact that they have, over 1 million subscribers isn't a real thing. The fact that other platforms have over hundreds of thousands of subscribers that speak the same stuff, the same rhetoric. There's other platforms that have millions of subscribers. That adds up over time. I would think that would be something that if you're really paying attention, you would notice those things. But obviously they were asleep at the wheel. And that's why they fumbled the football at the goal line. As a matter of fact, the Democrats, what they have done with this is they dropped the ball before they walked into the end zone. They thought they were going to be able to just roll Joe Biden out there and they're going to be fine, but he dropped the ball before he didn't even know he had the football no more and just left it. The same play, I swear if I see another black guy make that play, I'm going to jump out the window. But always dropping the ball right before the end zone. That's what the Democrats did. This is why you got like overweight, old white bald guys sitting in their room screaming about pronouns in video games. These people are upset about a lot of things. Just saying, you can't ignore this stuff. Young men are lost in corn activities, always watching people just pound each other over and over again. Like, they are sick. Have to reach out to these people, and they didn't. Not one of these platforms that I saw that were like lean left ever lean towards the men. They just didn't. And that's a sad thing because their problems are real. Our problems matter. Just think about that. They really do. The young men are beating their meat at a rate that is just ridiculous. They're slapping it at a rate that's faster than Diddy can catch another charge. It's truly alarming. What's going on? But I know this lasted way longer than I was expecting. And if you listened to me to this point, thank you. Really appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that button, hit that bell, and Godspeed.